Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. We are at war over fishing. Okay, so I have on my life jacket and I'm here. This is a shanker crab. This is obviously not a real one and they're much bigger. They're as big as my head usually. But this is what is going on here now. The French are at war with Jersey and the UK is backing Jersey. We are a protectorate of the UK and Boris Johnson has promised to help us in all things as Churchill did before him. So it's very complicated, but basically we are at war over fishing territories. So what has happened is that the French have been a little bit heavy-handed. They really want to fish in our waters. They want to get sea bass, bream, shanker crabs, which I just showed you. But you know how the French love their seafood, and we do too. Because of Brexit has caused a lot of confusion. It's very complicated, but we are literally at war with them right now because more than 60 French vessels have landed here and are trying to blockade the harbor here so that we can't get any resources in or out of our main port here. Eventually the ferries were able to leave 4 hours late. There have been talks between the ministers or the representatives from Jersey and also from France. It's a lot going on here. You know, there's a really good history between France and Jersey. In fact, Jersey has its own language, which is a Jerez language, which is a French. I don't like to use the word bastardization, but it's sort of like, think of Montreal French or even the New Orleans dialect of French, but it's an older language that mostly older people speak here in Jersey. And they have just decided to turn on us like this. France has, and they have a different way of trolling, and different way of trolling, not in the YouTube sense, but trolling in terms of fishing and in terms of respecting the waters. They have a different way of doing that because of course they are 14 miles away from us. England is much further away. I don't know all the numbers, you know, because I'm from Barbados, right? But I know that we're closer to France than we are to England. And so it is a bit of a thing for us to be against the French. You know, I'm wearing a hat here from Britannia region of France. This is what people wear in Jersey. It is very heavily influenced by the French culture and all the delicious dishes that they make with oysters, and like I said, there's even herring that they love to get from our waters. When I say our, I mean my husband. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's my husband. It's mine. It's my husband. What is yours is mine, husband. Now, they've been letting off flares. Nothing too serious. What is serious is that they have brought 2 Royal Navy vessels this morning from England just to patrol, just, you know, as a precautionary measure. One is the HMS Severn and the other one is the HMS Tamar. Also, France brought a vessel as well to stand ground here in Jersey. And like I said, like it is a lot going on. They tried to blockade the port so that we couldn't get any of our ferries in and out to get resources here. I'm just going to say our. You know where I'm from, right? You know where I come from. But I am here with my husband and his family and I'm very happy here and I love Jersey. So this is very frustrating for me. But the Prime Minister has always supported Jersey, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK, as Churchill did back in his day. So we are a protectorate here of the UK. This is not a bulletproof vest. This is actually just a flotation device, just in case things get real. But yes, there have been a lot of announcements. There have been a lot of meetings between France and England. England worded, you know, we need a history. If you're going to be a fisherman here, and you're going to fish in our waters, you need a history of being that. You cannot just be a rogue, you know, trawler that doesn't know the rules and doesn't respect the reef and the plant life. And so between now and 2026, they're going to be looking at those records. And so there is a transition period, but France is not about that life. They're not about the waiting life. They're about the now life. And of course, summer is coming up and they have to have all their lovely seafood dishes. You know, they have such a huge coastline, France. Like, obviously we here in Jersey do protect more our coastline and our marine life because it's smaller, so we have to protect it and defend it. So yeah, they have come out here, France fully come out here. They have been even just regular citizens trying to protect Jersey, and the French boats have been bashing them. I'm not laughing about that. I'm just thinking like, are they really that serious? I mean, everything is about money. I always talk about this in my videos. Everything's about money at the end of the day. And so what they have done with Jersey in terms of money is that they say that Jersey fishermen cannot land their catch in France, which is a big blow to the economy because obviously we are a small island, a private, quite a private island here, and we don't have enough people here to eat all the fish. Although if my mom was here, she would argue that she could eat all the crab. She loves crab. She loves it. So she's very happy that I live here. But on a serious note, there's no way to make money just selling seafood to Jersey. So they have to try to sell it to France. And if you can't land your catch in France, what are you going to do? France went further with that. They said that we're going to actually cut off your electricity because we do have underwater cables that supply our electricity here in Jersey. Only because it's a little bit cheaper to do that by getting the electricity from France, but we do have more than enough to support ourselves. So I actually will be able to make more YouTube videos regardless of what France does to us here. I was a bit worried at first because I was like, what do you mean electricity cut off? I mean my lights, I mean my greens, you know what I mean? I need technology. I need electricity. But actually they don't need it from France. It's just a little bit cheaper, so it's better to use it. Yeah, so I'm not going to get into all the politics of it because it's a lot going on, but basically you understand what's going on. They're fighting over fishing rights. I think that France is using a strong arm right now. They're doing flares and this and that. And then, of course, we have to implement like how I'm sitting here in this lovely Navy vessel. We have to bring in Navy vessels and bring in the Army, you know what I mean? But it's quite sad to me because I love the influence in terms of culture. There's a lot of French culture here. As I said, the language is Geraise, which is a French dialect that they speak here. I've heard it here many times and I'm like, what is that? But it is actually French. But it's a old French and an island French, a dialect of French. So it's just a little bit, sad because especially the freight ship that was trying to get out was called the Goodwill, Commodore Goodwill. It's insane. But you know what? We're ready. We're battened down. We have our troops here. We have even people with boats here, personal boats and yachts here that are willing to come out and fight for the cause. Basically, to explain it is that, you can't fish in our waters if we can't sell on your land. That's the gist of it, I think. So I just want to report that. Pray for us, please, because we are in a little bit of a problem here. Not to get off topic or anything, but I didn't really want to talk about Meghan Markle. She's apparently plagiarized this book by calling the book The Bench, and then there was this other book called The Boy on the Bench. And unfortunately, the author of that book did not have the legal foresight to not say anything right now, and said that it's fine, I had an experience like that in university in my literature class where I was plagiarized by another student, and I was a bit of a thing in literature. I do have a collection of poems as well. I'm a many-faceted person, but I actually peaked too early, I think, because I had some really nice poems that I wrote during my literature class, and my professor took a great interest in me, and another student plagiarized me. And she was a lovely girl, honestly. I really liked her. She hung out with me in my dorm room. We were friends and everything. And I don't think she understood the sort of influence that she was taking from me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I honestly believe, knowing her, that she did not know. And of course, when when you get to that higher level of education or the tertiary level of education, that is not acceptable to plagiarize. But I did not want it to go any further. I really thought that she's a nice girl. She just knew not what she did. But the school was like, you know, this is unacceptable. And, you know, she was disciplined and everything for that. But right now, I think that Meghan Markle is just not answering to anything. And I don't really want to go into like her psychology and everything, because I am not, that is not my area of expertise at all. So I don't want to go into that. But there is obviously something wrong with someone who just doesn't admit to anything or doesn't see the world in which the way that 99.9% of the people see it. So the book is there. It looks very similar. It's really not even about her creativity. It's more about the artist's creativity, who is a person of color. And, you know, this is going to continue. And I think I said that in my last video, that it looks like something that's going to continue with her, the contradictions and the not seeing. So the lack of self-awareness is what I want to say. So here it goes again. Lack of self-awareness, lack of understanding, and lack of giving credit where credit is due. And for me, it was not a big deal at that time because I was very young and I didn't understand. But the school understood, and they thought that that was absolutely unacceptable. You can leave that in high school, copy in high school, copy in middle school, copy, whatever you want to do. But when you get to university, where you're actually getting a degree that will then make you money, you have to be very careful that you have original ideas. And I know that she's still trying to big up her husband and make a big deal of that. And of course, the contradiction has been pointed out that she actually has no relationship with her family or her father. So how can she be so bold-faced to write about the love between a father and his offspring? But at the same time, we know what we're dealing with, and there's no point belaboring that point. But I just wanted to add that at the end, just to check in with you. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking, and we'll see how this pans out, and I'll report on the outcome. Right now, I feel like we have won the battle. Maybe not the war, but we won the battle on the seafood, just because we were able to let our ferries leave today and get the and get the resources that we need here. So thank you so much for watching and keeping up with me, and pray for us, please. I'm still going to talk about Barbados, but to be honest with you, it's like, thank you guys for watching so much. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell notifications. I might be talking about anything. You just never know. At this point, we're ready. We're ready for the wall. Yeah, it's going to be okay. We're going to get our seafood in the summer regardless. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Jersey. You have woken up to the news that the French are here. But do not fear. We will not let them take our electricity nor our fish. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the landing grounds. We will fight them in the potato fields and in King Street. We will fight them in Gorey Castle, Elizabeth Castle, and whatever it takes, Jersey. Do not fear. We will not surrender. Take that, France.